Marcus Reed wiped sweat from his forehead as he fixed the broken engine on the spaceship Earthside Accord *. His hands were dirty, and his back hurt, but he loved his job as chief engineer. Humans were still new to space travel, and many alien species looked down on them. "Reed," called Captain Taylor over the intercom. "Report to my office now." When Marcus arrived, the captain looked worried. "The Valtherian ambassador Krolthex is dying. He's asking for you personally." Marcus was surprised. 3 years ago, he had saved the ambassador during an oxygen failure. Since then, they sometimes shared meals together, talking about their different worlds. The tall, crystal-skinned alien was one of the few who treated humans with respect. "His ship has docked," said the captain. "Go quickly, and don't cause any problems." On the Valtherian ship, everything glowed with soft blue light. 2 elegant Valtherian females with shimmering skin led Marcus to the ambassador's private room. Krolthex lay on a bed made of strange blue material. His normally bright skin was dull and cracking. 5 important-looking Valtherians stood around him, their faces showing disapproval when Marcus entered. "My human friend," the ambassador's voice was weak. "Come closer." Marcus knelt beside the bed. "I came as fast as I could, sir." The dying alien reached out with a trembling hand. "Humans, you are young among the stars, but your hearts are strong. My time ends." "I'm sorry," Marcus said, truly sad to lose his alien friend. Krolthex pointed to the 2 females who had guided Marcus. "Shalavine and Morixa, my wives. Our traditions demand they be protected." The other Valtherians in the room shifted uncomfortably. "In our culture, this is our highest honor," the ambassador continued, his breathing rough. "I give them to you." Before Marcus could speak, Krolthex pressed a cold finger against Marcus's arm. A strange burning sensation spread as a blue mark appeared on his skin. The other Valtherians gasped in shock. "The bond is made," whispered the ambassador. "You alone showed true humanity." "I don't understand," Marcus said, looking at the glowing mark. "What does this mean?" One of the official Valtherians stepped forward angrily. "It means this human now holds the bond rights to the ambassador's wives. This is outrageous." Shalavine and Morixa moved to stand beside Marcus. Their eyes, like pools of liquid silver, studied him with curiosity. "My final wish is done," Krolthex said. His skin dimmed further. "Care for them, Marcus Reed of Earth. They will care for you." The ambassador's body shuddered once, then his skin lost all light. The room fell silent. Marcus stood between the 2 alien women, feeling their strange mental presence touching his thoughts. The angry officials circled them, speaking rapidly in their language. "What happens now?" Marcus asked. Shalavine's voice was gentle in his mind. "Now we are yours, human, and you are ours." Marcus knew his simple life as a spaceship engineer had just ended. Something much more complicated had begun. News about what happened with Ambassador Krolthex spread quickly. By the next day, everyone on the Earthside Accord was talking about Marcus and the 2 alien women. Captain Taylor called Marcus to the ship's meeting room. Inside, 3 human officials from Earth waited with serious faces. 4 angry Valtherian leaders stood on the other side of the table. "Engineer Reed," said Ms. Wilson, Earth's top diplomat, "you have created a serious problem." "I didn't ask for this," Marcus said, touching the blue mark on his arm. The tallest Valtherian, named Zexmortha, stepped forward. "The bond must be broken. Valtherians do not belong with humans. You are too primitive. Breaking the bond would hurt Shalavine and Morixa," Marcus said, surprised that he somehow knew this was true. "You know nothing of our ways," Zexmortha said with disgust. Ms. Wilson sighed. "The Valtherian government is threatening to end all trade with Earth if you keep the ambassador's wives." Marcus felt a gentle touch on his mind. Outside the door, Shalavine and Morixa waited. Since yesterday, he could feel their thoughts touching his. It was strange but not unpleasant. "May I speak with them?" he asked. The officials reluctantly agreed. When the two Valtherian women entered, the room seemed brighter. Their crystal skin shimmered with blue and purple light. "The human must give up his claim," Zexmortha demanded. Shalavine stepped closer to Marcus. "The bond is sacred. It cannot be broken without causing us great harm." "Your minds are not compatible," another Valtherian official said. "The human brain is too emotional, too chaotic." Morixa, who had not spoken before, looked directly at Marcus. "We have begun to feel your thoughts. They are different from ours. Fascinating." Marcus felt something strange happening. When he looked at the two alien women, he could sense their curiosity, their intelligence. They were not afraid like he was. "Ambassador Kralthex chose me for a reason," Marcus said, standing taller. "I will honor his last wish." The Earth officials looked worried. "This could mean trouble for all humans," Ms. Wilson warned. "Then so be it," Marcus replied. Later, in his small room on the ship, Marcus sat with Shalavine and Morixa. The ship would return to Earth tomorrow, and the three of them would go together. "Your mind burns with many feelings," Shalavine said, her silver eyes watching him. "Valtherians control their emotions carefully." "Is that why your people think humans are primitive?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Morixa answered, "but they are wrong. Your emotions make you creative, unpredictable." "What will happen when we reach Earth?" Marcus wondered. Shalavine's skin glowed a little brighter. "We do not know, but the bond grows stronger each day. We are changing." "And so are you," Morixa added. Outside the window, stars stretched into lines as the ship prepared to jump through space. Marcus didn't know what waited for them on Earth, but he knew nothing would ever be the same again. 3 days passed on the Earth side Accord *. Marcus tried to return to his normal work, but nothing was normal anymore. Everywhere he went, people stared at him and the two Valtherian women who now followed him. Captain Taylor had given them a larger room to share. At night, Marcus would watch as Shalavine and Morixa entered a sleep state, their crystal skin glowing softly in the dark. "Engineer Reed," the ship's computer announced one evening. "Captain needs you on the bridge." When Marcus arrived, the captain looked worried. "Our sensors detected a small Valtherian ship approaching. They claim they need emergency help, but something feels wrong." Through the growing mental bond, Marcus felt sudden fear from Shalavine and Morixa. "It's a trap," he said. "They're coming for us." Just then, the ship shook violently. Red emergency lights flashed. "We've been hit," shouted the weapons officer. "They're cutting through the hull in Section 7. Marcus knew exactly where that was, near their quarters. "I need to get to Shalavine and Morixa." He ran through the corridors as the ship's alarms blared. When he reached Section 7, he saw 5 Valtherian soldiers with strange weapons. Their skin was dark gray, not the usual blue. "There he is, the human with the bond mark," one shouted. Marcus ducked behind a door as they fired. The shot hit the wall, melting the metal. He quickly grabbed a repair tool from his belt, a heavy wrench. "Your primitive weapons cannot help you," a soldier said, coming closer. Marcus waited until the alien was near, then swung hard with the wrench. The Valtherian fell to the ground, surprised by the human's quick reaction. "Humans are so unpredictable," another soldier said with disgust. Marcus felt something new. Morix's thoughts were flowing into his mind. Suddenly, he knew exactly how the Valtherian weapons worked. With this knowledge, he grabbed the fallen soldier's gun and fired it correctly on his first try. 2 more soldiers went down. The others retreated around the corner. Marcus ran to his quarters and found Shalavine and Morixa waiting. "We must leave this ship," Shalavine said urgently. "Zexmortha sent assassins to kill you and take us back." "How can we escape?" Marcus asked. Morixa stepped forward. "The small shuttle bay. I can fly a ship, Now you can too, through our bond. They moved carefully through the ship's corridors, avoiding the fighting. When they reached the shuttle bay, they found one guard. "I'm just checking the shuttles," Marcus said casually. "Engine problems." The guard looked suspicious. "I didn't hear about any." Before he could finish, Shalavine touched his mind with her telepathic powers, making him dizzy and confused. The three quickly boarded the smallest shuttle. Through the bond, Marcus's hands moved across the controls with new knowledge from Morixa. "Where can we go?" he asked as the shuttle launched into space. "There is a place," Shalavine said. "A colony at the edge of known space. Many different species live there in peace." As the shuttle sped away from the Earth-side Accord Valtherian ships appeared behind them. "They're following us," Marcus said. Morix's skin glowed with determination. "Then we must be faster, together." Marcus felt their minds connecting more deeply with his, human instincts combined with alien knowledge. He smiled as he pushed the shuttle to speeds it was never designed to reach. After 3 days in the small shuttle, Marcus, Shalavine, and Morixa finally reached Frontier Station Omega. The space station looked like a giant metal wheel spinning slowly in space. Ships of all shapes and sizes came and went from its many docking bays. "We lost the Valtherian ships," Marcus said with relief as he guided their shuttle toward the station. Shalavine touched his shoulder. "For now. But Sexmortha will not give up so easily." When they docked, a human security officer named Chen met them. "Welcome to Frontier Station Omega," she said, then looked curiously at the two Valtherians. "We don't see many of your kind here." "They're with me," Marcus explained, showing the blue bond mark on his arm. Officer Chen's eyes widened. "You're the human from the news, the one who received the ambassadors' wives. Half the galaxy is talking about you three." She led them through the busy station. Aliens of many species walked the corridors. Some looked like insects, others like giant birds or reptiles. No one seemed afraid of each other. "This station is neutral territory," Chen explained. "No single government controls it. People come here to start new lives away from their homeworlds." Their new home was a small apartment with 3 rooms. It wasn't fancy, but it was safe. "You'll need jobs," Officer Chen said before leaving. "The station always needs skilled workers." That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. Everything had happened so fast. 2 weeks ago, he was just a normal engineer. Now he was bonded to 2 alien women and hiding on a space station at the edge of known space. "Your thoughts are troubled," Morixa said, entering his room. Her crystal skin glowed softly in the dark. "I'm not sure what happens next," Marcus admitted. Shalavine joined them. "We adapt. We survive. We learn from each other." The next day, Marcus found work fixing the station's engines. His human creativity combined with the Valtherian knowledge he gained through the bond made him especially valuable. Shalavine used her telepathic abilities to help in the medical center. She could sense patients' pain without them having to explain. Morixa worked on improving the station's defense systems. Her Valtherian technology skills impressed everyone. Weeks passed, and they began to feel at home. The people on the station accepted them, curious about the unusual bond they shared. One evening, as they ate dinner together, an emergency alarm sounded. "Attention all residents," came a voice over the speakers. "A Valtherian science ship is under attack by pirates near the station. They request immediate assistance." Marcus looked at Shalavine and Morixa. Helping would reveal their location to other Valtherians. "They are our people," Morixa said quietly. "Even though they rejected us," Shalavine added. Marcus nodded. "Then we help them." They joined the station's emergency response team on a rescue ship. When they reached the Valtherian vessel, they found it heavily damaged. Pirates in small, fast ships were still attacking. Through their bond, Marcus, Shalavine, and Morixa worked as one. Marcus piloted their rescue ship with impossible maneuvers, human instinct guided by Valtherian precision. Morixa operated the weapons systems while Shalavine used her telepathy to sense where the pirates would move next. The Valtherians watched in amazement as their rescuers, a human and two of their own kind, fought with incredible coordination and skill. After driving away the pirates, they helped the injured Valtherians board their rescue ship. "You are the bonded three," one Valtherian scientist said with wonder. "We thought the stories were exaggerated." "They're not," Marcus said simply, as the three of them guided the ship back to Frontier Station Omega. 1 month after the rescue mission, Shalavine collapsed during her work at the medical center. Her crystal skin, normally bright blue, had turned dull and gray. Marcus carried her to Dr. Elena Vasquez, the station's top doctor. "Help her, please," he begged. Dr. Vasquez ran tests while Morixa held Shalavine's hand. Marcus felt Shalavine's pain through their mental bond. It scared him. "I've never seen anything like this," Dr. Vasquez said, looking at her scanner. "Her cells are changing." "Is it a disease?" Marcus asked. The doctor shook her head. "No, it's like her DNA is reorganizing itself." Morixa touched Shalavine's face gently. "The bond is changing us. I can feel it too, though not as strongly yet." Dr. Vasquez looked at Marcus. "I need to check you too." She scanned Marcus and gasped. "Your brain patterns, they show Valtherian characteristics, and your blood cells have tiny crystal structures forming." "What does it mean?" Marcus asked. "The telepathic bond is causing physical changes," the doctor explained. "You're becoming more like them, and they're becoming more like you." For 2 days, Shalavine stayed in the medical center. Marcus and Morixa never left her side. On the 3rd day, her skin began to glow again, but with a new pattern. Small areas looked almost human-like. When she finally woke up, Shalavine's silver eyes had flecks of brown in them, like Marcus's eyes. "I feel different," she said. "Stronger. I can feel your emotions much more clearly now." Word spread quickly about the strange transformation. Scientists from many species came to Frontier Station Omega to study the three of them. "This is impossible," said a Valtherian scientist named Trelvor. "Species separated by billions of years of evolution cannot merge." "Yet it is happening," Morixa replied. Her skin was beginning to show changes too. Marcus discovered he could now sense the thoughts of others, not just Shalavine and Morixa. It was a weak ability, but growing stronger. "The human mind has an intensity we never imagined," Trelvor explained after running more tests. "It's triggering adaptive responses in Valtherian biology." Not everyone was happy about these changes. A group of Valtherian purists arrived at the station, led by a scientist named Jaxmol. "This contamination must be stopped," Jaxmol declared. "We must separate them and purify our people." One night, while Marcus was working late, he sensed danger through the bond. He ran to their apartment and found Jaxmol and 3 others trying to take Shalavine and Morixa. "The bond must be broken," Jaxmol shouted. "It cannot be broken now," Shalavine said calmly. "We are becoming something new." When Jaxmol tried to inject Shalavine with a drug, something unexpected happened. Marcus felt a surge of energy in his mind, and suddenly all the lights in the room exploded. Jaxmol stepped back in shock. "What was that?" Morixa looked at Marcus with wonder. "He is developing Valtherian mental abilities." "Impossible," Jaxmol said. Marcus stood tall between the Valtherian purists and his bondmates. "You don't understand what's happening here. We're not becoming human or Valtherian. We're becoming something completely new." Officer Chen arrived with security guards and took Jaxmol and his group away. That night, the 3 bondmates sat together, holding hands. Through their shared mental space, they felt something wonderful growing. A new kind of consciousness, neither human nor Valtherian, but a perfect blend of both. Ambassador Kralthex knew this would happen, Shalavine whispered. He saw the future. News about Marcus, Shalavine, and Morixa spread throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Concord, which made rules for all space-traveling species, called an emergency meeting. "The three of you must appear before the council," Officer Chen told them one morning. "A ship will take you to the Concorde space station tomorrow." Marcus felt nervous. What will happen there? "They will decide your fate," Chen said honestly, "and possibly the future of human-alien relations." The next day, they boarded a special ship. When they arrived at the Concorde station, Marcus was amazed by its size. It was 20 times bigger than Frontier Station Omega. Inside the Great Council chamber, representatives from 30 different species sat in a huge circle. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien. Floating gas clouds, insect-like beings, and creatures made of living metal. Zex Mortha, now wearing the uniform of a Valtharian High Commander, stood before the council. "These three represent a dangerous threat," he announced. "If species begin to merge biologically, our natural order will collapse." Earth's representative, Ambassador Williams, argued back. "The bond was formed legally according to Valtharian tradition. We cannot punish these three for something that happened naturally." For 3 days, scientists, lawyers, and religious leaders gave their opinions. Marcus, Shalavine, and Mor Ixo were tested, questioned, and examined. It was exhausting. On the 4th day, Mor Ixo asked to speak. The council allowed it. She stood tall, her crystal skin now showing patches that looked almost human. "I was born pure Valtharian," she began. "We believed our species was superior to all others because of our logical minds and telepathic abilities." The chamber fell silent as she continued. "Through my bond with Marcus Reed, I have experienced something my people never understood. The power of human emotion, human creativity. It does not make us weaker. It makes us stronger." She touched her chest. "My body is changing, yes. But the change brings gifts from both worlds. Is that not evolution's purpose? To create beings better adapted to the universe?" Zex Mortha interrupted angrily. "You speak with human emotionalism now. You have been contaminated." "No," Marcus said, stepping forward. "She speaks with wisdom from both our kinds." Shalavine joined them. "We stand before you as living proof that the boundaries between species are not fixed by nature. They are fixed by fear." The council members whispered among themselves. Many seemed moved by the three bondmates' words. Then something unexpected happened. The Valtharian scientists, who had been rescued from the pirate attack months earlier, entered the chamber. "We wish to speak," their leader announced. "These three saved our lives. The human risked everything for people who had rejected him. And his Valtharian bondmates showed a flexibility of thinking our species has long forgotten." After hours of debate, the council reached their decision. The head counselor, a tall blue being with 4 arms, stood. "The bonded three, as you are now known, will not be separated," she announced. "Furthermore, your unique condition will be studied as a model for enhanced cooperation between species." Zex Mortha stormed out in anger, but most of the council seemed satisfied. As they left the chamber, Marcus squeezed the hands of Shalavine and Mor Ixo. "We won," he whispered. "No," Shalavine said with a smile. "The future won." Marcus, Shalavine, and Mor Ixo returned to Frontier Station Omega as heroes. Many people wanted to meet the bonded three who had changed the Galactic Concorde's laws. For 2 months, life was peaceful. Marcus's mental abilities grew stronger. He could now sense emotions from anyone nearby, just like a Valtharian. Shalavine and Mor Ixo continued to change too. Their skin still glowed, but they could now express human emotions with their faces, smiling, frowning, and even crying. One night, Marcus woke suddenly. Something felt wrong. Through the bond, he sensed danger. "Wake up," he told Shalavine and Mor Ixo. "Someone is coming." They barely had time to dress before their apartment door hissed open. A cloud of greenish gas floated in. "Don't breathe it," Mor Ixo warned. Marcus grabbed breathing masks from his emergency kit. They escaped through the back door just as 4 figures in black suits entered. Who are they? Marcus whispered as they hid in a maintenance tunnel. Genetic sovereignty, Shalavine said. A group that believes all species should remain pure. They hate what we represent. Officer Chen found them an hour later. Your apartment was attacked with a biological weapon, she told them. It was designed to reverse your genetic changes, but it would have killed you in the process. We need to leave the station, Marcus said. These people will keep coming for us. Where can we go? Morixa asked. They'll find us anywhere. Marcus thought for a moment. Maybe we shouldn't run. Maybe it's time we fight back. Using their combined abilities, the Bonded Three prepared a plan. Marcus's human creativity, enhanced by Galtharian logic, helped them think in new ways. Shalavine's telepathy, strengthened by human emotional range, could now detect enemies from farther away. Morix's technical skills, mixed with human intuition, let her create devices no single species had imagined before. They tracked the attackers to an abandoned mining station orbiting a dead moon. Using a small, fast ship, they secretly approached. I can sense 12 mines inside, Shalavine said, her eyes closed in concentration. Morixa studied her scanner. They're building something, a virus delivery system. It could affect thousands of people. We need to stop them, Marcus said, but we don't want to hurt anyone. Using Morix's new technology, they entered the station undetected. Through their mental bond, they moved as one, perfectly coordinated. When guards appeared, Shalavine used her enhanced telepathy to make them fall asleep. In the main lab, they found the truth. Genetic sovereignty wasn't just targeting them. They planned to release a virus that would prevent any cross-species adaptation throughout the galaxy. They want to keep all species separate forever, Morixa said, reading the computer files. And kill anyone showing signs of change, like us, Marcus added. As they downloaded the evidence to show the Galactic Concord, an alarm sounded. A door opened, and Zexmortha walked in with 6 armed guards. I should have known it was you behind this, Marcus said. Zexmortha's face showed no emotion. Evolution must follow the proper path. Mixing of species is unnatural. All evolution comes from change, Shalavine responded. What we are becoming is the next step. Zexmortha raised his weapon, a step that will never be taken. The guards fired, but something amazing happened. The Bonded Three, their minds completely synchronized, created a telepathic shield that stopped the energy blasts. This is what you fear, Morixa said. Not that we will destroy what we were, but that we will create something better than either humans or Galtharians could be alone. As Zexmortha stared in shock, Marcus realized the final battle was just beginning. Zexmortha and his guards surrounded the Bonded Three in the laboratory. The telepathic shield was holding, but Marcus could feel it weakening. We cannot maintain this forever, Morixa whispered. Marcus looked at the computer showing Genetic Sovereignty's virus plans. An idea formed in his mind. A human idea, but strengthened by Galtharian logic. Shalavine, he said quickly, can you share our bond experience with everyone in this room? Let them feel what we feel. She looked uncertain. I've never tried to share so deeply with unwilling minds. It could hurt them. It's our only chance, Marcus said. As the shield began to flicker, Shalavine closed her eyes. A wave of mental energy spread from her, touching every mind in the room. Suddenly, Zexmortha and his guards froze. Their faces showed shock as they experienced the bond that connected Marcus, Shalavine, and Morixa. They felt the harmony of human emotion and Galtharian logic working together, creating something greater than either alone. This is impossible, Zexmortha whispered, dropping his weapon. No, Marcus said. This is the future. Morixa quickly accessed the station's communication system. We need to show everyone the truth. Using the station's powerful transmitter, they broadcast Genetic Sovereignty's plans to the entire Galactic Concord. At the same time, Shalavine extended her mental sharing as far as possible, letting thousands of beings briefly experience their bond. Hours later, ships from the Galactic Concord arrived. They arrested Zex Mortha and his followers, shutting down the Genetic Sovereignty Organization. "You have saved countless lives," said the Concord commander. "If their virus had been released, it would have caused suffering throughout the galaxy." In the days that followed, something amazing happened. Other species began to explore the possibility of bonds similar to what the Bonded Three shared. The Galactic Concord created new laws called the Kralthex Protocols, named after the ambassador who started everything with his last wish. 5 years passed. Marcus, Shalavine, and Morixa moved to a small, beautiful planet where they built a home overlooking an ocean. Their bodies continued to change, becoming a perfect blend of human and Valtherian. They weren't alone anymore. Hundreds of other bonds had formed between different species across the galaxy. One evening, as they watched the sunset together, Morixa said, "Do you think Ambassador Kralthex knew this would happen? That his last wish would change the galaxy?" Marcus smiled. His skin now had patches that glowed like a Valtherian's, while his bondmates had developed more human features. "I think he saw something in humans that his own people had forgotten." "What was that?" Shalavine asked, her silver-brown eyes watching the stars appear in the sky. "That sometimes the best path forward isn't to remain pure," Marcus said. "It's to share what makes each of us special, to become something new together." A small ship appeared in the distance, carrying visitors, a human bonded to a bird-like alien, coming to learn from the first successful cross-species bond. Shalavine squeezed Marcus's hand. "From a dying alien's last wish to a whole new way of life." "And this is just the beginning," Morixa added. As night fell on their little home, the Bonded Three watched the stars with hope. Somewhere up there, they knew, Ambassador Kralthex would be proud of what his final gift had created. Not just a family, but a future where no species had to evolve alone. The end.